In the heart of the 100 Years' War, one battle would echo through the corridors of history, a testament to strategy, desperation, and the sheer force of will. This is the story of Agincourt, fought in the year 1415, a clash that forever altered the course of the conflict between the kingdoms of England and France. Leading the English forces was the young and ambitious King Henry V. Against him stood the might of France, commanded by seasoned nobles like Constable Charles d'Albret, Jean de Saint-Lemangre, and Charles, Duke of Orléans. The roots of this war ran deep, tangled in a complex web of claims and counterclaims over the French throne and vast territories. England under Henry asserted its right to French lands, a claim vehemently rejected by the French crown. For King Henry, this campaign was more than a matter of dynastic right. It was a bold gamble to consolidate his power and secure much-needed resources for an economically strained England. Thus he led his army across the Channel, embarking on a daring invasion of France. The path to Agincourt was a grueling one for the English. They were a weary force, depleted by a long siege, ravaged by hunger, and weakened by dysentery. They were marching through hostile territory, a shadow of the army that had first landed. In stark contrast, the French army was a magnificent sight to behold. They outnumbered the English significantly, a glittering host of heavily armored knights and men-at-arms, confident in their strength and eager for a decisive victory. They were the flower of French chivalry, ready to crush the beleaguered English invaders. But fate, and the terrain itself, had other plans. The chosen battlefield, a narrow stretch of land between two dense forests, was a sea of thick, clinging mud, churned up by days of heavy rain. This muddy ground, which seemed a minor inconvenience, would prove to be a decisive ally for the English. As the dawn broke on October 25th, St. Crispin's Day, the two armies faced each other. The French, impatient and overconfident, began their advance. It was then that the English unleashed their secret weapon. On Henry's command, thousands of longbowmen planted their sharpened stakes in the ground and let fly a storm of arrows. The sky darkened with a hail of steel-tipped bodkin points, raining down upon the advancing French knights. The effect was devastating. The heavily armored French nobles, weighed down by plates of steel, found themselves trapped. The mud became a quagmire, pulling them down, slowing their charge to a stumbling, chaotic crawl. Each step was a struggle, making them easy targets for the relentless volleys from the English longbows. Horses panicked, trampling their own men, and the orderly French lines dissolved into a desperate, struggling mass. The tight confines of the battlefield prevented them from outflanking the smaller English force, funneling them directly into the killing zone. As the French vanguard collapsed into disarray, chaos rippled through their ranks. They were packed so tightly that many couldn't even lift their arms to swing their weapons. This was the moment the English men-at-arms, lightly armored and far more mobile on the treacherous ground, moved in for the kill. The close-quarters combat was brutal and savage. The English, using swords, axes, and daggers, exploited the immobility of their foes. King Henry V himself fought in the front lines, his personal valor inspiring his exhausted troops to push beyond their limits. They held their defensive line with fierce discipline, turning the battlefield into a narrow corridor of death for the French. In the crush, many of the French commanders who had led the charge were either killed or captured in the opening phases of the battle, leaving their massive army leaderless and in total confusion. The result was a victory for England so absolute it seemed miraculous. The French army was annihilated. Thousands lay dead on the field, including a staggering number of high-ranking nobles. Many more were taken prisoner, a source of immense wealth in ransoms for the English. In comparison, English losses were astonishingly light, numbering only in the hundreds. The victory at Agincourt dramatically shifted the balance of power. It cemented Henry V's reputation as one of the great warrior kings of the Middle Ages and profoundly strengthened his political position both at home and in France. The battle became a powerful symbol of English resilience and martial prowess. The story of Agincourt teaches us a timeless military lesson, that superior numbers are no guarantee of victory. The French, despite their overwhelming advantage, were defeated by poor coordination. The the restrictive terrain and the crippling weight of their own armor. The English, through superior strategy, unwavering discipline, and the devastating effectiveness of the longbow, achieved one of the most stunning underdog victories in all of history. This single day's fighting reshaped the 100 Years' War, paving the way for further English conquests and securing King Henry's legacy as a master of the battlefield. Thank you for joining us on this journey back in time. If you found this story fascinating, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more epic tales from history. We'll see you in the next one.